welcome to another interesting segment of Home Truth Nigeria. Today I want to talk on the topic how insincere Nigerian men pick a partner. Last week we talked on a video about how the sincere Nigerian men, pick their partner, and today I want to talk about how the insincere Nigerian men, which is just a minute fraction of the Nigerian population, basically pick their partners, and go ahead scamming them. Now, one of the reasons I'm making this video is because there are a lot of women who have been victims to these guys, and this has indeed put a stain in the reputation of an average Nigerian man who is sincerely looking for love. The moment he says hello and he introduces himself as a Nigerian, most ladies put their guards up. They start approaching everything with caution. Even when they get to like this man, you see most of them employing ring men, just to be sure that, okay, they're not making a mistake. You hear things like, oh, you have to be careful. He's not real. He's fake. He doesn't love you. He's a user, especially when you're dealing with the sincere Nigerian man, just because he has introduced himself as someone who is Nigerian. I also experienced this over a decade ago when I came overseas, first as a student. Now, it's important to understand that this insincere guys are driven by one thing when picking a partner, and that thing is their condition. The condition is that 70% of them want to pull their families out of poverty. They want to give their family a better life. They want to improve their life standard. And to achieve this, they have to go through the wrong way. Now, a lot of you may ask, okay, what about the 30%? I mean, if you say 70% of these insincere guys are pulling, they go in through this because they want to pull their family out from poverty. What about the other 30%? Well, these guys, they believe they are taking what belongs to them. These are guys who think because your ancestors, looted, stole, did something with slave trade with Africans, they feel it is their responsibility now to take from you what your ancestors took from us. So these guys, they show no mercy. Now, there are two things that makes the insincere guys go into romance scam. And these two things are money and the opportunity to travel. Now, this doesn't mean that every Nigerian you're dating is interested in your money or wants to travel. Like I said, with the sincere Nigerian men. However, when you're dealing with these guys who are insincere, they always start out to look very genuine. Now, this brings us to the question: how then do they pick their partners if they always turn out to look genuine from the beginning? How well do they pick their part? How then do they pick their partners? Well, the first thing they do is they select first based on nationality. Your nationality is the first thing they look at for. These guys are very good with economics. They understand the per capita GDP of every nation. And yes, they would go and show interest in women from nations that are considered rich, what we say affluent nations. They know this. I once told a Canadian lady, I was like, the boyfriend you're talking with online has dated three Canadian women before you without having actually been in Canada. Don't you think it's uh, uh, it's a message? Doesn't this point to you that maybe he's on a mission? Either he's looking for a way to come into Canada, or he feels like women from Canada, they have some money and they can take care of him. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. There are people who want to try dating women from other part of the world just to get this experience. But you see, the insincere guys, they have this selective criteria that they look out for before they make a move. And one of which is nationality, which is the first thing they look. They look at the nationality because it could also give them the opportunity, to move to your country and obtain green card. Most especially if they see that, okay, you don't have so much money. Maybe the goal is not to take your money, just to move. They would always want to go to a country that has a better opportunity for them economically. Now, the moment they are done selecting you based on your nationality, the next thing they look at for is the what I call the vulnerable women. This is what they call vulnerable women. Now, who is a vulnerable woman to these guys. They target women that are lonely, either because they are widows, they are divorced, or women who didn't get married. They also target, single mothers or women who are by themselves, no husband and no child. They look out for these women and they tag these women as being, vulnerable. So they basically look for women who are honest, with their feelings, women who are actually looking to fill in a gap, by, finding a partner that would, they would, build something together. The moment they see these options, maybe she's old, lonely, and all of this, they tag these women as vulnerable. Now, they start exploring dating sites the moment they see this. So when they explore dating sites, you would notice that a lot of times some of them are even on dating sites that if you go and research about this dating site, you see that this dating site is not allowed in Nigeria for reasons like romance scam. But a lot of them will bypass this by using a VPN or having someone in the country you live create an account for them, and then they use this to hunt, their victims. A lot of them have gone far of even taking advantage of religious groups set aside for women who want to date men of the same faith. A lot of them, they've come in for them. This to them, these women are vulnerable because it's like, oh, this woman is out. This is for, women who are single, looking for Christian women. They see them as, okay, these women, they actually need men. They are vulnerable. So what do is they take place in this group and then they look for how they can, prey on these women. Now, the moment they've selected you based on your nationality and then they've seen what you're actually looking for, maybe you're single, you're way older, you're a single mother looking for a husband, a father figure, and all of this, the moment they've established this contact with you, they will now start what I call the love bombing. So this love bombing happens the moment they've picked you or singled you out from any dating site or any group you belong in. They can also fish you out from Instagram, from Facebook. They just need to have access to your profile and see if you are considered to be in their vulnerable category. And then the next thing, they start to love bomb you. Now, this is the stage where they praise you, they tell you that you're the best, they flatter you, they compliment you. Even when you yawn, they say you have the best yawn. They send you a lot of messages, texts, they are chatting, they are calling, they go and send you, poetic writings that would make you emotional, not knowing that they stole this from the internet. They use all these affectionate means and words on you to fine tune you, because they understand that Western women love to hear these words. They know that these words are very, very important. So you get this guy who's on a dreadlock somewhere in Nigeria, telling you things no one has ever told you, something you last heard of when the doctor handed you over to your mother after delivery. You've never heard of this before. They tell you all of this and then they prey on your emotions and then they manipulate you to the point whereby you are fine-tuned like an old radio. They set you to a frequency of mumuism and gullibuism. There's anything like that, you get to this point of no return and then they will proceed to the next stage. And this next stage is, he tells you his plans for the future. This is the hypnotic stage. Now, the moment he has gotten you hypnotized, with the love bombing and all of that, you know, especially if maybe you guys are close, he gives you one or two bedroom session, or if you're on a dating site, you guys are online, maybe you're having long distance relationship, he does one, strip tease for you, and then you see all the sweat, dripping from his body, and then he's showing you pictures and video of him doing press up and working out, and then you haul hypnotized. At this point, he starts discussing his plans with you. not your plans, because you don't have any. To him, you're too old to have a plan. You're ancient of days. How can you have a plan, as old as you are? So at this point, it will tell you what they wish to do that would involve money. They will tell you their problems, how they want their problems to be solved, how they want to start a business, problem with rent, apartment, so that in case you come into Nigeria, you both can have privacy. Or, some of you will go as far as, put them on a monthly wage. Once you get salary, you take it out and say, oh, this is for my boo, this is for my African man, this is for my Prince of Zamunda. And then at some point, some will start initiating or telling you about the idea of you, coming down to Nigeria, to meet them in person. The moment they've gotten you love bombed and you're into them, it's like, okay, if you're in a long distance relationship, how about you come to Nigeria? So let's meet. The next thing, you take a flight and you go to Nigeria. This brings them to the next stage. That is where they solidify the pseudo relationship. This is where the solidified relationship. It is not real. It's pseudo. It's fake. In case you don't know. Now, some of you would have to go to Nigeria in person, to meet them, and this is where you are introduced to the family for the first time in real time, because maybe you've been speaking to them on phone and all of that. A lot of you will be so blown away because before you come, this guy would give you he'll be prepared to give you 5-star performance on bed, to make sure that when you go, you want to come back again, to make sure that you think basically that this is how it's going to be for the rest of your life. And then they quickly propose to you. They will use a ring of $3 or $5 to engage you, which sometimes a lot of you even buy the ring before you go and then you give it to him to propose to you. Now, in this stage, for most women, it is the point of no return, because once a lot of women enter this stage, the guy's problems and responsibility becomes a thing the woman has to deal with, because you have to help your future husband. You need to help his family. They are your family. You are engaged to be married in this family. Now, I can tell you from experience, once a lady gets into this stage, nothing you tell her will make sense to her. It is a point of no return, like I said, or what we call in Nigeria otilo. She is gone so deep, to come out would be a problem. I've encountered a lot of these women, and nothing you tell them will matter. They will keep moving, even if their heart is like, this is all fake. It's a scam. It's not real. They are they are rather happy, to be filled with this false hope, believing like, there's the light at the end of the tunnel, not knowing that their Nigerian romance scammer has closed the tunnel and taken away the light at the end of it, because he knows you are in pitch darkness, and he won't let you go until he get whatever thing he wants to get from you, which is his original mission. Now, for those of you who are dating the guy, or you're dating a guy like this, and you're not in you're not in online long distance relationship, the method still remains the same. In this case, he may need you so that he doesn't have to go back to his country. So he may need you because you would marry him. They go for women who are vulnerable, because the ones who are vulnerable, they are quick to either get married to them or decide to have a child. But the ones who are not vulnerable to them, please, the vulnerability is based on their definition, not mine. The ones who are not vulnerable to them are not easy, to like jump stages with. But the ones they consider vulnerable, like old, widow, divorced, lonely, and all of this, they feel these ones are quick to get married to them. So they will need you to help them with their resident permit. Now, guys, the reason I'm making this video is to bring hope to a lot of you A lot of you who know you are clients, your gut feeling, keeps telling you that it's all a lie. Your gut feeling keeps telling you that you're being scammed and used. But the sad part is you cannot trade off, the feelings you get and how this guy makes you feel, than going back to be lonely. So it becomes very difficult to accept, reality. Some women also know that they are scared of working out because they don't know what is there. And if they walk out from this, they don't know what is next for them. But I just want to warn you, and I want you to also know that you're strong. You're a strong lady. You can come out of this, and you've done nothing wrong. The only thing you did was to basically fall in love, which is human nature, to be loved and be in love. And if someone decides, to take advantage of it because you're open and sincere and gave love a chance, then do not hesitate to let go of that person because I don't see any reason why you have to pay or buy love. It is a free gift to mankind from our Creator. And if you're hearing my voice today and you are in this sort of relationship where you need to pay to be loved or appreciated, it is high time we broke that bondage or the yoke. And this start by you, accepting the truth and telling yourself that you deserve better and accepting reality. And trust me, you'll be fine. So, guys, it is time for tithe and offering. How was that preaching? Nice, right? So, guys, listen, if you got questions, please write me on home36@gmail.com. Please like, share, subscribe. Home Truth Nigeria. Peace out.